It was Thursday afternoon, and when classes were let out, Spike, the Rainbooms, and Trixie were at the mall. Reason was because the girls needed new swimwear for when they would go to Spike's uncle's beach house tomorrow afternoon. As they walked through the mall, Trixie spoke. "Once again, I thank you so much for inviting me to join you and the girls, Spike." "No problem, Trixie," Spike replied. Trixie looked at the Rainbooms, "And a bigger thanks to you girls for accepting me as well. I know we still have issues to work out, but this will make for a good chance, shouldn't it?" she asked hopefully. "Of course, Trixie," Twilight answered with a smile. "Well, here we are," Rarity said, as they stopped in front of their favorite clothing store. "Sure you girls don't want any help?" Spike asked. "I could provide some feedback from a man's opinion." "Thanks, Spike, but we can handle it," Twilight answered. "Why don't you go check out your favorite stores, and we'll meet up at the food court when we're done," she suggested. "Okay, girls, see you then." Spike continued on through the mall, while the girls went inside to look at what swimsuits they could try. Already they were looking around the swimsuit racks for the right kind of suits to choose from, be it the right type or the right design. Rarity was looking at a pub bikini with a mix of the colors white and purple. "Oh, this will look perfect on me. What doesn't look perfect on you?" Rainbow asked rhetorically, as she was looking at a swimsuit. "Well, that's true. I do have the talent for making even the dullest of outfits look fabulous when wearing it," Rarity agreed, while flipping her curl. Pinky was going through swimsuit after swimsuit, tossing one after another into a pile. No, not that. Definitely not that. Not enough. Just doesn't say Pinkie Pie." She finally picked up a Bonjour-kini-coloured pink. "Aha, now this is definitely me," she grinned. Fluttershy, Applejack, Vinyl, Twilight, Sunset, and Trixie were looking at swimwear as well. "I wonder what Spike's Uncle Scorpion is really like," Fluttershy wondered as she was looking at two swimsuits. "He must be a nice guy to allow Spike to invite us all to his beach house," Twilight answered, while picking a swimsuit off a rack. "I hope the beach around it is nice," Trixie hoped. "You and me both, girl," Applejack agreed. "Maybe if we're lucky we can have a bonfire on the beach at night," Sunset suggested. "That'd be super cool," Vinyl said, with a grin. "It sure would," Fluttershy agreed. Soon, all 9 girls were each in a changing room trying on their new swimsuits. Rarity was now wearing the pub bikini she picked out and saw her reflection in the mirror. She admired how the swimsuit showed off every curve throughout her body. She smiled as she cupped her breasts, pushing them up. "Spike will really get a good show from this," she giggled. Pinkie Pie was checking out the Bonjour-kini she picked out, and so it really did suit her well. "This is probably the best swimsuit I ever picked out." Fluttershy had just finished putting on her swimsuit, which was a yellow one-piece with an opened back and a circular hole on the abdomen, exposing her navel. Fluttershy looked at her reflection and spoke to herself. "I sure hope Spike thinks I look good in this." She blushed to herself at the idea. Applejack was looking at her reflection while wearing a reddish-orange micro-kini. She smirked to herself. "Woo doggy, I look simply good. Good enough to leave an impression on old Spike for sure." She saw how much her impressive bust was exposed. In another changing room, Rainbow had just finished putting on her swimsuit, which was a blue and yellow triconi that showed off plenty of skin on her torso. "Oh yeah, awesome and sexy, perfect combo." Twilight had finished slipping into her new swimsuit, being a standard bikini-coloured magenta. She looked in the mirror and smiled. "Yes, perfect fit." Sunset was in her changing room putting on a red and yellow string bikini. "This is gonna look nice, especially here." She cupped her breasts up. Vinyl had finished putting on a cerulean blue classic bikini. She looked at her reflection before removing her glasses. "Oh yeah, Vinyl's got the look to match her beats." She shook her hips a bit. Finally, Trixie had finished putting on her new swimsuit, a purple pretz cleave enchi top with matching coloured bottoms. "Trixie, as always your sexiness knows no bounds," she made her breasts bounce. Meanwhile, Spike, after visiting all his favourite shops in the mall, stopped into the food court and got some pizza slices and a beverage. He sat at a table and took a bite. "I sure hope the girls don't mind I went out to eat before they got here." Well, look who we have here," came a tough male voice. Spike looked up and saw 3 boys about the age of high school seniors approach. One had orange hair, was wearing a red hoodie with a dragon image on the back, jeans and sneakers. The second had blonde hair with bangs that covered his eyes, a purple vest covering a blue shirt, black slacks and sneakers. The third looked big, boned and bald, while he wore a brown unbuttoned shirt over a white shirt, jeans and sneakers. If it isn't Spike Drake, the blonde-haired boy said. Spike looked uninterested in them. Oh, it's you three, still not behind bars yet. Well, I commend you for lasting this long. Watch your tone with us, Spike, the one in the red hoodie spoke. Or what, Garble? Spike addressed him. You may have intimidated me before, but things are different now. Oh, I'll say they're different, Garble agreed. Different with you. The boys and I heard about your little transfer to an all-girls school. The boys laughed. Yes, I have, Spike confirmed. I knew it, Garble declared. Hanging around so many namby-pamby girls must have drained you of your masculinity. On the contrary, Garble, it's only boosted my masculinity, and much more, Spike countered. What's that supposed to mean? The bald boy asked. Oh, Spike, a voice called. The four looked over and saw the group of girls approaching. Spike smiled smugly at the three older boys whose eyes were widened and their jaws were hanging open. Garble asked in disbelief, what? You hang out with girls that look like that? Not so namby-pamby now, are they, Garble? Spike asked smugly. Garble, feeling defeated, had nothing left to say and walked off with his boys. When the girls reached Spike, Rarity asked, Spike, who were those grungy-looking characters you were talking with? They're a local gang that call themselves the Dragons, Spike explained while doing finger quotes. I heard of them, and nothing good, Vinyl said. What connections could you possibly have with those hooligans? Twilight inquired. I used to be one of them, he answered in regret. What? The girls cried in shock. Spike decided to explain things. It was a while back and I was going through a phase. At the time they looked so cool, all I could think about was joining them. So I went to their usual hangout and asked to join. Of course they got a good laugh out of it, and after some convincing they tested me. I managed to impress them enough to earn a spot with them. So you became a street thug? Rainbow asked. No, Spike replied. I was only with them for one day before I learned what bunch of jerks they were and walked out. Good call, partner, Applejack nodded in approval. Yeah, well, the Dragons didn't think the same way, Spike said. After that they chased me around town. Goodness, Fluttershy gushed. I managed to get away and make the Dragons look like chumps in the process. How'd you do that? Sunset inquired. By using my ultimate weapon, a party cannon, Pinky guessed. No, my head, Spike answered. I used what I could to my advantage and made my escape. Rainbow looked impressed. That sounds totally badass. And clever too. Twilight added, feeling impressed. Yeah, I'm clever when I need to beat, Spike playfully boasted. So you girls get what you need. We sure did, Trixie confirmed. Great, I hope you don't mind. But I got grub before you. Spike showed them his ordered food from the court. Don't worry, we'll have our food in the snap of a finger, Pinky declared, as she and the others went to grab food. When everyone grabbed some food from their favorite stands in the court, they sat at the table with Spike. Twilight spoke. So your uncle will be by after school tomorrow to pick us up. That's right, so make sure you pack tonight, Spike instructed. I already have, Twilight replied. As have I, Trixie put in, and I'm always prepared. Rarity finished. Good, and I expect the rest of you to do the same tonight. Spike instructed the rest of the group. Right, they nodded. Ooh, I'm so excited. A weekend at a beach house, Pinky beamed, as Applejack and Vinyl calmed the girl down. Sitting not too far from them while unbeknownst to the group was Adagio, Sonata and Aria. Did you hear that, girls? Adagio asked her partners. Sure did, Aria confirmed. Oh, it's not fair. How come they get to spend spring break with Spike? Sonata whined. Don't give up hope, Sonata. Adagio comforted her. Where there's a will, there's a way. But first I need to make a few calls. She pulled out her cell phone, and her partners grinned. The very next day after school, Spike and the girls stood outside the school gates with their luggage. They waited patiently for their ride. Well, except for Rainbow Dash, who was starting to get bored. How much longer? She groaned in boredom. Oh, would you shut your yap for a moment, Rainbow? Applejack asked, getting annoyed by her whining. And you say I complain? Rarity retorted. Cool it, Rainbow. Here he comes, Spike said, as they saw Winnebago drive up. Wow, you uncle's got some set of wheels, Sunset said in admiration. Spike smiled and nodded as the vehicle pulled up. The window rolled down as a man with a mullet of brown hair looked out the driver's window. Hey, Spike, waiting long? Not at all, Uncle, Spike answered, before Rainbow could complain. Are you and your friends all ready to go? His uncle asked. You bet we are, Vinyl confirmed. Then hope aboard, the man instructed, as they grabbed their luggage and got inside the Winnebago. When they got in, they sat their luggage down and saw Spike's uncle Scorpion was dressed in a Hawaiian-styled shirt, black shorts and sandals. Spike fist bumped with him and spoke. It's good to see you again, Uncle, and great to see my nephew again. Sorry I couldn't make it here for Christmas, he apologized. It's no big now. Let me introduce you to my friends, Spike began. This is Twilight Sparkle, Rarity, Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, Sunset Shimmer, Vinyl Scratch, and Trixie Lulamon. Girls, this is my uncle Scorpon. Nice to meet you girls. Scorpon greeted them. Pleasure's ours, sir, Twilight replied. Thank you so much for letting us come to your beach house. Rarity thanked him. Hey, when my nephew told me he had lady friends to spend his spring break with, how could I deny? Scorpon asked, as he nudged his nephew, who chuckled sheepishly. Let's get going, Uncle. I want to get there before nightfall. Sure thing, Spike, Scorpon said, as he started driving off. When the Winnebago was out of sight, Adagio, Sonata, Aria, and half the student body were watching. There they go, Aria said. And we're next, girls. Adagio smirked to the rest of the class who looked excited.
She